Hi there. It's exactly 1 month since I started my hyperbaric oxygen therapy for Lyme disease, and I thought now would be a really good opportunity to just take stock of where I am because it has been an extraordinary month and a really fascinating last week. So, in my last vlog a week ago, I was actually in the middle of a really savage herx and it had really knocked me off my feet. In fact, it ended up being a really nasty herx, and I was really ill for 5 days, really kind of out of it, struggling to get through the things I needed to do in a day and spending a lot of time flat out. Um, but coming out the other side of that has been really positive. So it seems that it was, in fact, although a very bad herx, a very nasty herx to go through, it was a very good herx. And what I mean by that is in Lyme circles, we would call a good herx any herx where when you come out the other side of it, you feel better than you did before it started, because that shows that it has positively cleared away a load of infection. And that is definitely the case for me. This has been the best herx I've had, if that makes sense, total contradiction, in probably 10 months. So coming out the other side of it, I feel the best I have in a very long time. I'm still struggling with really, I don't know if you can see, really swollen glands. Look how swollen my neck is. Because what happens is, as the Lyme bacteria dies, your lymphatic system has to clear all the rubbish out and it gets overwhelmed. That's how big the die-off has been from this HBOT treatment, that it's all backed up and my glands are all swollen. So I've just been for manual lymphatic drainage to try and clear that through. But again, that, as far as I'm concerned, is a really positive sign that the HBOT has done what it's meant to do, in that it's actually caused a big die-off, which is what I want, because I don't want to be full of these Lyme spirochete bacteria. So this is all really good. The other thing that's interesting is I learned firsthand why you should do your HBOT right between meals, not straight after or not straight before. So this week I'm on leave, and so my timings have been a bit shifted. I'm normally in a really tight routine fitting in work and HBOT and the farm and everything. But this week it's all gone out the window because I'm on leave and I'm trying to do some slightly more interesting stuff. So one day I decided that I would jump in my HBOT straight after my breakfast, naively thinking that because my breakfast is literally a cup of apple puree and chia seeds, that didn't constitute a big meal. But 20 minutes into my treatment, I was hit by really severe nausea and really thought I was actually going to be ill in my chamber, and learned on that day that when they say don't go in an HBOT after you've eaten, there is good reason, because it will make you feel incredibly sick. So then yesterday, I was having such a lovely day. I was feeling really well. I'd done quite a bit and was just enjoying myself. So it got late and I suddenly realised it was nearly dinner time and I hadn't done my second treatment. And I didn't want to repeat that mistake again and go in on a full stomach. So I thought, no problems, I'll jump in just before I eat. That proved to be just as big a mistake. So I jumped in there a little bit hungry, but halfway through my treatment was hit by really bad hypoglycemia, so low blood sugar. Felt incredibly sweaty and nauseous and dizzy and faint. And while I was lying in my chamber, Googled to find that hyperbaric oxygen therapy actually drops your blood glucose level. So what had happened was my blood glucose level was obviously fairly low because I was due to eat. It dropped it even lower. So won't be making either of those mistakes again. So if you're interested in hyperbaric oxygen therapy and looking at when to eat and when to do it, in future, I'm going to be doing my hyperbaric without fail, bang in between my meals, not just before or just after, because that was not a pleasant experience. So those are kind of the hard lessons that I've learned this week. But I am absolutely ecstatic that this treatment is definitely working. I mean, my inflammation levels are much reduced. I mean, my knuckles, my fingers, my joints are much smaller, much less swollen. Fatigue is definitely lower. Brain fog is definitely a little bit better. And just to have had such a significant herx, to actually have a significant die-off and feel better coming out of it is huge. So I'm really encouraged. 1 month in, I think I've done about 64, 65 hours in there. And it's all looking really positive. So I'm just going to keep pushing on, keep going and just seeing how this goes. And I will keep you updated. Just a word to anybody that helped make this happen. This hyperbaric chamber was crowdfunded by a group of an amazing individuals who've come alongside me to help make this happen. These improvements in my health, these wins are down to your generosity in supporting me, in helping to fund this hyperbaric chamber. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. You've taken me from a place of really, I just felt like I didn't have any hope left, to having huge hope for the future, as I'm actually seeing positive healing and positive improvement. So thank you. And anyone that's thinking of crowdfunding, go for it, because it can work and you can get there. All right, I'll give you another update when I've got something worth saying. Take care.